Okay, Master, we are ready.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Okay, I have some announcements to make. Xin, have you finalized the plans for September, October in Korea? Okay. Some general announcements. Go ahead. We decided to, we finalized the timetable for the Dharma propagation in Korea, like sometimes around mid-September to mid-October.
So the Guanyin Qi will be from October 8th to October 15th.
Then we leave after that.
And
return to the U.S.
We will return to the U.S. around October 19th or 20th. It's not finalized. There should be 2 weeks prior to October 8th that we will have Chan workshops, which Venerable Shanai is working on where the Chan workshop will be at.
Okay.
So we should be there around September 22nd.
September 42nd.
September 22nd.
22nd. Okay.
And then that weekend and the October 1st weekend will be for Chan workshops.
Okay, so September 22 to October 22 approximately, yes?
Yes.
We'll be there.
Yes.
So about 4 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So that you know, we basically are dividing our workload into 3 major centers: Northern California, Southern California, and Korea. And so that's why I'm going to have to divide my time between those 3 areas. The objective is to train, and train. Okay? This is our version of American Weiyang, which is, to me, it's drastically different from the Chinese Weiyang, my late Chinese teacher. In the sense that it's not just talk, but in terms of you, the results in you. I don't care who I am, what I do, it doesn't matter. It's about you. Okay? What is it? The American Weiyang is in all of you, meaning that I measure American Weiyang by your level of samadhi, your level of wisdom, and then leave it to you to contribute to your own, in your own way, in your society, as the way you see fit. Okay, so far we've been able to train many of you, to much higher levels than Master Xinhua's disciples. That's a fact. You, not about me. Yeah. So I would like to continue to do that. Let me tell you, the recipe is for everyone. It's not just for a limited number of people, but we do multi-level types of training. And what does it take? Number 1, you create blessings. I'll be blunt with you. Stop beating around the bush. The reason ours work better than Master Xinhua's program, by far, is because we generate more blessings. Our disciples been able to generate more blessings than his disciples. Remember, high level samadhi requires high level of blessings. So the way we train you is very simple. Create blessings, and we bring you to high level samadhis. Okay? When I was at his temples, we work as well. But my disappointment is that I feel it's false advertising. He claimed that his disciples would be training me, that after 4 years, I was I'm ashamed to admit to you, after 4 years, to me, it's a waste of time. Okay? I'm very, very disappointed that I spent 4 years of my life wasting it away. Because in the end, after 4 years, how far did I go? I made it to possibly third dhyana. It's not like I didn't meditate. It's not like I was goofing up. I was meditating every day, working hard, trying to become enlightened because I said, I shaved my head. I'm not going to fail, okay? I'm very simple-minded. When I got to do something as a goal, I'm going to become fourth stage Arhat or higher. After 4 years, I got the third dhyana. Many of you got there in weeks, in months, okay? And that's how bad it was for me personally. Okay, and so that's got to change. If American Way Yang to prosper, it's all about you being trained properly, and therefore it's hard work. It's also creating blessings. Yes, on that one end. And so that means this forces me to continue to build up those 3 regions. Let me tell you who I am. I'm very lazy. I'm very proud to say that. I'm very, very lazy. I do not want to work. In my country, in my culture, this is a time when I retire to the greener pastures, like those horse studs, waiting to die. That's our culture, okay? But, so that's my preference. However, there's so much work to be done because the Buddha relics, I have no choice, and therefore I have to continue to work until someone takes them off my hands, please. Take them off my hands. Make me an offer I cannot refuse. So that's why no holds barred. I'd like to help you generate more blessings. How do you generate more blessings? By working. That's the thing that Master YongHua taught us. Work, work, work. Okay? Not just any kind of work. You should help out with our project. Does it help? Yes, I work at his temples, Master YongHua's temples. But I worked chasing my tails, thinking I'm doing important things, using my knowledge, my training to contribute. But, thank you. Yeah. Oh, so Chinese. But in the past 16 years, my disciples has been helping us build our American Way Yang up, and therefore it's a difference between their Chinese Way Yang programs and our American Way Yang programs. Period. Okay, so you can choose. You can go and help whatever. Or you can help the Chinese Way Yang, or you can help American Way Yang. Those are better ways to create blessings. Any questions? Am I too blunt for you? I'm old. I don't have much more time to beat around the bush with you. Okay? Plus, I try to retire. So create blessings. Help out. Help the projects, because this is all these things, my priorities are to train you, all of you, lay people as left home people. Okay? The Mahayana is in you. The books are secondary. Okay? I'm not here to build temples. I have no interest in building temples. I'm building the temples in you. And then when there's a need for it, then we build temples later. Okay? But It's never about temples. We have enough space now to train a lot of people. So therefore, I'm ready to move on to more aggressively train more people. Okay? So there's multiple levels, but the same common denominator is create more blessings. Left home people we train, okay, I pay more attention to them because I need them to be teachers. Okay? Lay people who are interested, yes, you can be put on the list as well, but I don't have the same control over you, lay people, as left home people. Because left home people here in our system, I feed them, I clothe them, I abuse them, I beat them up, I starve them, all those things. Whereas lay people, I can't. Okay, because as long as I pay for you, I own you. When you pay for me, you own me. Is that fair enough? Okay, very good. So yes, they will be. I pay more attention to them because the objective is to train them to become teachers, train them to become Dharma masters, Chan masters, Pure Land masters, and so forth. For example, I think Chungin Sunim and Sangfu Sunim should be stepping up and do what they do and learn how to start teaching Chan. Okay, why is that? I feel that our Chan, American Chan, is in terms of I'm not talking about top level. Top level, we're not as good as the Chinese. We're not as good as the Chinese patriarchs. Okay, like Master YongHua, we're not going to be as good as he is. Or Bodhidharma, we're not going to be as good as he is. Or Master Huineng, we're not going to be as good as he is. Okay, I tell you that right now. Forget it. Okay, you're barking up the wrong tree. You want to be better than be as good as they are, go somewhere else. I can't help you. But we can be pretty close. Okay? And so the more of you out there, the stronger Mahayana will be here in the world. I hope it's here in many of you all over the world. Okay, I'm identified 3 regions right now, Northern, Southern Californias, and Korea. Okay, and therefore, I need people to be present there. Because for Chan meditation in particular, you need a lot of protection, a lot more protection you realize. Without the proper protection, you will not be able to make progress. It's very difficult for you. So even though those people, they don't seem like they're not doing anything, but I need to send people there to provide protection, provide to illustrate the standards of our system, okay? And they're called abbots, yes? Okay, and so we want to, I want to train left home people, Chungin Sunim and Sangwok Sunim, I need you to be more flexible. You're trainable now, be less Korean. None of us is really belongs to anything. We're not Vietnamese, we're not Korean, we're not American, we're not Chinese, okay? So that's part of the evolution. We are borderless. That is what they call the new jargon, monks without borders. Sounds good? All right, monks and nuns without national borders. Okay, monk, M-N-W, without N-B. Okay, that's too many initials. So that's simplified. Ninjas without borders. And there was a question that was asked. If someone asked one of my teachers, he says, Master complained that the Koreans are too soft, too weak. So how do you become stronger? How do you become tougher? And the answer that was given to that particular person is that endure more pain. Yeah, and that's correct. Yeah. The more pain you endure, the tougher you become. How is that? Very simple. Anyone practice Taekwondo? You Koreans don't even practice your own martial art? What is going on here? Okay? I remember when I practiced Taekwondo when I was younger, and we learned to make our fists harder by hitting against a piece of wood board. Anyone remembers that? So they put a wood board like 1 inch by 1 inch by 4 on the ground, and then you stand there and say, to me, and you say, so that your fingers, would blood would come out, okay, and so the skin will get thicker, and then the bone becomes harder. The point being that if you're beaten up, okay, repeatedly, it seems to make you stronger. Does it help? And what's missing in that picture? Me. I ran away because I couldn't stand the pain. I said, my fingers are to play pianos, not to become, a lethal weapon. That's a different story. Huh? So I said, no, I need to save my fingers for the piano thing. Okay? No Taekwondo anymore. So what is the point? The point is that if you don't run away, you become stronger. Make sense? Okay. So it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing more, training more and more of you. And the way it works is that first you plant blessings, and number 2, we give you opportunities to teach as well, to help out as well. You help out by whatever. Monks and nuns, some people are able to help out by teaching, and then by teaching you learn more yourself. It makes your perspective a lot broader, a lot quicker. Okay, and for you lay people, what I've been hearing from you is that many have been progressing quickly, actually tremendously, tremendously fast, and I'm very pleased with that. And so it's all together. It's all a combination of our Sangha and myself, and training you and guiding you and coaching you. Okay, and one of my major focuses is to train teachers. Okay? Any questions? Okay, so we'll be doing more and more. And honestly, if I get to stop right now, and that's all I can do, I'd be very happy with my life as a monk already. So anything more than this is gravy on the mashed potatoes, as we put it here in America. Mashed potatoes, with real French butter, put gravy on top of it. Oh, heavenly. Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, so it's about you. I measure my students' prowess and achievement by how well they train you, how well you are trained, all of us together. Okay? And then you do whatever you want to do with that training, your knowledge. Live your life forever happily after. Get married, make 4 children or more. Become president. whatever, philosopher, it's up to you. Okay. Questions or comments? Can it be fun? I don't know how you could live without samadhi power. The more samadhi, let me equate this for you. This is what I've noticed all these years. The more samadhi you have, the happier you become. It's only until you run away that's when the less happy you become. Okay? That has been a pattern all this time. So, okay? Not only if you don't quit, you become stronger, you become tougher, and also happier. All right, questions or comments? It sounds like I'm bragging, doesn't it? And it's okay. You think whatever you want, doesn't matter. All right, do you have no questions? Let's go into something of real substance like the patriarch's teachings. The Chinese are so advanced. We better learn. We should learn from them before we venture on our own, don't you think? I mean, their wisdom is so advanced. The old Chinese patriarch, not the current one. Disappointing. Okay. No questions, comments? Okay. Then we stop? How about stopping? Remember, I'm lazy. Unless you give me a reason to work, I will not work. I prefer not to work. Chang-wook, what do you think? Are you excited? You say, oh yeah, I'm going to be a great Dharma master sometimes. Great Sunim, Sang-wook, Sunim. Great Sang-wook, Sang-wook, great Sunim. How's that? Okay, since everyone is so floored, so overwhelmed by how aggressive, how big a vision we all have, okay? The Chinese, they're too abstract. For me, it's head count. How many are such at levels? How many are the other levels? How many are enlightened, and so forth. Percentage of enlightenment. We have a lot of statistics. Right, Thoại? There you go. Yeah, these people. I was talking to them when I said, I gave them a math question. If I transport the display cases for relics from Los Angeles to Southern California, and my truck can only carry 2 display cases at a time. I have 6 display cases. How many weeks do I need to carry them up here? And they all gave me the wrong answers. Anyway, disappointing. Okay, can we look into Master Wei Shan's anecdotes? Do we have them at all? Remember, training sometimes, it's different speed, different rate of progress. You cannot say, how come that person is faster than me? It varies from person to person. The same common denominator, number 1, you plant blessings, I plant blessings, I plant blessings. That's number 1 job. Number 2, you receive training, you participate in the classes, and naturally things will happen. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to ask yourself, how come I'm so fast? How come I'm so slow? It's irrelevant. Okay, here, and this one here. There you go, that one. Wei Yang anecdotes. Luminous mind. Okay, thank you. Feel free to interrupt me anytime, okay? Okay. Let's read it. Master Wei Shan asked Yang Shan. The Shranga Sutra mentioned that the mind is wonderful, pure, and luminous. How do you see it? Miao Jing Ming Xin Ru Zhuo Me Sheng Hui. Okay? Yang Shan said, the mountains, the rivers, the earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars. The master said, you only describe phenomena. Yang said, what did the master ask? The master Wei Shan said, the mind that is wonderful, pure, and luminous. Yang said, how can you call those only phenomena? And the master said, so it is, so it is. You're not enlightened yet? And that's, by the way, it's funny because I was disappointed because when I was at Master Hsuan Hua's temples, I worked my butt off, okay? I've contributed so much, helped so many people, helped so many programs, and what's lacking is some sort of training and coaching. I didn't know what it was until years later, when I survived quitting, or all those tests that force you to quit, encourage you to quit, and that you tell yourself, enough is enough. This is nonsense. There's no end. There's no light at the end of the tunnel, and there's no hope. It's not until Master Huineng came along to answer my question and teach me and taught me. And I realized, later, that was called sudden teaching. What's lacking in the Chinese system? Yuck. That's why we better. But we can't call ourselves totally American either. So we learn from a Chinese patriarch. Okay, that's the dilemma. So it's American Wei Yang, but it's really not American Wei Yang. It's called the middle way. Huh? Okay, so Master Wei Shan, our founder, and his higher Master Hsuan, no two ways about it, asked Yang Shan, who is also higher Master Hsuan. Okay, this is why we're studying them, because I want to beat Master Hsuan one of these days. Maybe not in this lifetime. But so you want to surpass someone, okay? Preferably you want to learn from someone who's better than, even better. Okay. So, okay, I'm rambling. So Master Wei Shan, okay, in his process of training his students, okay, training again, folks, in Chan is very personal. There's no such a thing as diplomas and so forth, and you go and you pay for tuition and fees, and you pass some sort of quizzes and tests, written tests and so forth, and therefore you make the grade. No, in the spiritual world, training is very personal. As far as American Wei Yang is concerned, training is one-to-one. We pay attention to each and every one of you. And just that, the reason you're not making progress yet is because you cannot do what we tell you to do. That's why. All right? You don't have enough blessings yet. That's why you don't get it. So anyway, the Shranga Sutra, our Chan Bible, okay, in terms of Mahayana Chan, Shranga Sutra is our Bible. It has tremendous information on how to develop your samadhi. Okay, it's a tremendous sutra. And Master Hsuan Hua, I cannot commend him enough. He did such an outstanding job explaining it. Okay, so if those who are interested, lay people or lay people, study it. Okay, if you can. Okay, okay. So the Shangha Sutra mentioned that the mind is wonderful, okay, pure, and luminous, is bright, okay. Sheng Hui, how do you see it? How do you understand it? What is your understanding? Okay, what do you think? Okay, so this is our Bible. The Bible says this mind of ours, this Chan training is this training of your mind. Okay, so because Master Wei Shang trained Yang Shan already, okay, Yang Shan is enlightened already, was enlightened already. That's why he says, now I can ask you this question. You enlightened. Premise, you enlightened already. What is his mind here? That the Shangha Sutra mentioned. Is it wonderful? Is it pure? Is luminous? Okay? So what do you think? Okay, you small, no point. For you, weak Koreans, it's not for you. Okay, it's for Yang Shan level. So far, so good. Okay, so don't rack your brains. You're gonna hurt yourself. Weak people. Okay, more kimchis. Yang Shan replied. He says, what do you see? He says, remember the question is, what is this mind? The mind, the mind of, if you enlighten, you see the mind is wonderful, it is pure, it is bright, it's luminous. So what is wonderful? Wonderful is that it cannot be explained. It's so much fun, it's so much, it's so wonderful, it's beyond descriptions, okay? It's pure. Okay, it is so pure, okay, as a pure land. It's so pure as a pure land. Luminous. Luminous here refers to the fact it emits light. It meaning that, what does it mean? That it's wonderful. When you understand, you become enlightened, okay? And when Master Yang Wei Shan asked Yang Shan at that level, he knew that Yang Shan was very, very advanced already. This question is for very advanced people, okay? Even you enlightened, low level, forget it. It's not even for you, okay? So, but I'm assuming that in the future, when you become enlightened and you go back to today's lecture, and you say, oh, wow, now I understand. And if you don't understand it right now, okay, these plants are seeds for you to go higher, sooner and quicker, okay? So don't sell yourself short. Don't dismiss it and say, oh, this is not for me. No, it works both ways. Okay? You plant the seeds. All right? Okay. So the mind is wonderful, meaning it has a certain way of looking at things, certain ways of solving problems, of doing things that is so wonderful. It cannot be explained. It cannot be rationalized. Okay? Cannot be measured. That you cannot explain to, boys, to weak people. So far, so good? Okay. And it is pure. Pure here refers to, at a low level, the mind has no greed whatsoever, has no anger whatsoever. Master insults you, say, and it has no stupidity whatsoever. Okay? And Master does something, Master, that doesn't make sense, so stupid. Mind your business. You're the one who's stupid. I'm not stupid. Okay? If I'm stupid, it's my business. Okay, so it's pure. Okay, And when you go to the Pure Land, you understand eventually what pure, the pure mind means. Okay, but for now, think of it as no greed, no anger, no stupidity. Okay, you're not greedy for money, you're not greedy for recognition. Okay, and all those things. When you have wisdom, and you also are pure. Okay, you have no anger. Okay, someone insults you, you're not afflicted at all. You're not stupid. Okay, and you have wisdom. Okay, and finally, bright. Bright here refers to the ability to see things clearly. Why is it important? It's important because when you're able to see things clearly, you can solve your problems better. Your engineering is better, your math is better, you can calculate. It only doesn't take 4 weeks to carry 6 display cases from Los Angeles to San Francisco. So after all 3 of my senior disciples said 4 weeks, they all agree each other, and these cowards, they don't dare contradict each other. I said, I'm not talking to any of you. You're a waste of my time. Okay, you flunk out of my math test. Anyway, so you're able to solve problems better. And you clearly, my 3 disciples, 1, 2, 3, 4. The other guy cannot speak English, but it count him in as 4 as well. They have no wisdom clearly, so their minds are very obscure. Okay? Understand? Comprende? Okay. So this luminous here is emit lights. Emit lights is that so that it sees things clearer. Like when your room is dark, you turn on the lights, and all of a sudden you can see, you don't have to bump into the furniture as you walk around, okay? And that's the advantage. The same thing. Luminous is that the brightness, you can see clearer, and therefore, when someone comes and asks you questions, you can help them provide better solutions for their problems. So far, so good? So this is very, very fundamental concept. In the Srangama Sutras, the Srangama Sutra says, your mind, fundamentally is wonderful, is pure, and is bright. So far, so good. So what do you think? And you think that Yang Shan, you would expect Yang Shan, would speak like me, you'd be impressed, right? So, why didn't great Master Yang Shan explain like Master YongHua says? Because my explanation is low level. Because who's asking the question? So Yang Shan said, the mountains, the rivers, the earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay, that's the answer. Huh? You got that, huh? Xiao Tai, you got it? Yeah. So, because the mind is wonderful, it is pure, it is bright, so what do you think? So, the student said, oh, of course, that's why the mountains, the rivers, the earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars. And so guess what? The teacher says, you only describe phenomena. I asked you about the substance of your mind. I'm not asking you about phenomena of your mind. Okay? I warn you, this is pretty advanced and not for stupid boys. Okay? Once I get to know you and I let you watch a Kung Fu Panda, that's when I start insulting you. Okay. So the Master says, you're wrong. You're describing phenomena. What's phenomena? Phenomena are things you observe, right? Whatever you see outside is called phenomena. Some, tsunamis, earthquakes, the wind blowing, and so forth. They're all phenomena. observations, if you will, okay? Occurrences, manifestations, events, okay? Yeah. Things can be perceived, perceptions, your perceptions. Now, phenomena, okay? So Yang said, what was that you asked me again? And this is what I like about Yang Shan. He says, hey, old man, before I let you have it, would you mind reminding me, is that what you were asking for? And so this is sort of, hey, old man, what did you ask me? Yeah, this is how Americans would put it. But the Chinese is very polite. What did the great master ask me? Okay? And the master said, the mind is wonderful, pure, and luminous. That's what I asked you about. I asked you about what you think of it. And Yang replied, can you call those only phenomena? And the master said, so it is, so it is. Enlightenment, anyone? Yay! Oh, the old monk is not awake. He said, it sounds like my kind of question. Yes, sir, old monk. Blue.
Sự tức lý, sự tức không, sắc tức không.
See, all the online people say, this is way over my head. That's why you're online and they're here. Yes. Translation.
Sắc tức không.
We have the Vietnamese translation.
Sắc chẳng khác không, sắc tức không. Tức chẳng khác không và sắc tức không.
Phenomenal is the principle, and then the mark is empty, and then emptiness is mark.
No. What he said is form is emptiness. Right? And what else did you say in Vietnamese? Repeat.
Cái khác, cách diễn khác nữa là sắc cái không chẳng, sắc chẳng khác không.
Form doesn't differ from emptiness. Okay, that's from the Heart Sutra. The Heart Sutra, we're talking about Shrangma Sutra. You cannot quote the Heart Sutra and get away with it. What does it have to do? Emptiness have to do with wonderful, pure, and bright, luminous. What does it have to do with emptiness? You see, folks, you see the kind of language those two great patriarchs use when they talk to each other. This goes to prove to you that Yang Shan's level is very, very high. Wei Mao.
Master, maybe it is referring to just seeing as it is, experience as it is, without any intellectual activity.
This is, in case you don't know, this is Dr. Bosco, who is director of Crazy People at the state of some kind of county programs.
So this is a crazy answer?
And he's been doing it for too long. Okay, yeah. No. Anyone else? Chun. the boy's mother.
Obviously, this is above my level, so I'm just shooting the dart. It's something to do with everything is from the mind, so the phenomena are just a reflection of the pure mind.
Okay. Anyone else? I don't know how to explain this either. It's too advanced for me as well. Damn. we shouldn't discuss things we don't understand. How's that? So that's the first lesson. Okay? You boys and girls, in the future, you see something you don't understand, drop it. Don't bring it up, please. Yes, Orange.
Emitofuo, Master. I try to cheat a little bit on this answer that explain the mind of suicide person. That when the person is one yin bodhisattva is suicide, that her mind is pure, clear, and luminous. So.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, old monk, second chance.
Nhờ cái sự đó, mình mới biết cái tâm mình nó hoạt động, nó thấy như vậy, biết như vậy. Nếu mà không có cái sự núi, không có cái núi sông thì không có biết cái tâm ở đâu. Mà nhờ cái núi sông nó biết cái tâm.
Okay. Here's what it means. Anyone else would like to try and show your or limitations, your limited mind? And this is a good thing. It goes to prove that all of you, Snow Wu, Chiago, and Ru Chang, Jumi's husband, Tiana, and all of you have a lot of room to grow. Okay? It's still ways for you to go yet. Okay. The question is about the mind. The mind, Wei Mountain, go ahead.
Is it? Let me try one more time. It's from the Sarmaga Sutra. Is it like the mind is not moving forward when it is something too excited, and it's not avoiding when something is too challenging, difficult? The mind is just being so still as it is.
I would not advise you to use this Dharma talk today to try to explain to your patients. You will make them go more crazy. I'm sorry, but you wasted your time today, Bosco, Dr. Bosco, because you cannot make money off today's lecture. Okay?
Thank you, Master.
What he does is that he tells me proudly, he says, I listen to your Dharma talk, I modify a little bit, I talk to my patients for an hour, I charge them money for it.
Yes, this is what I'm doing, Master. It's my confession.
And guess what? And he claims that his patients, I love it. Oh, you have so much, there's so much depth in what you do. Everything you say makes so much sense. Anyway, who says the Dharma is not for crazy people? So, here's the concept, okay? When the Shurangama Sutra says the mind is wonderful, is pure, luminous, what is it describing? I'm helping you now. What is it describing? Anyone? It's describing the substance of the mind. This is in Mahayana the concept called substance. If you dissect the mind, dissect your mind, dissect Dr. Howe's mind, okay? do an MRI scan, okay, or cut it up, okay, slice it, okay, like doctors do. They slice it by very thin slices, you know, get a cross section of the mind. You find out that the substance of the mind, okay, the real substance of the mind is wonderful, pure, and luminous. That's what the mind really, really is. It's wonderful, it's pure, it's luminous. That's what you find out. You describe the substance of the mind, it's wonderful, it's pure, it's luminous. So far, so good? So when he asked, when he quoted, when Wei Shan, great Master Wei Shan quoted, he says, our Bible, our Chan Bible, okay, describes the mind as such and such. And I know you understand, okay? I know this is at your level, okay? So this is, he's ambushing Yang Shan. And saying, I know you understand what the sutra talks about. The substance of the mind being wonderful, being pure, being luminous. How do you explain it? It's a very, very tough test. Can you imagine someone, you know, Asians, you know, offering each other tea, drinking tea together, or soju, or beer, or wine, or whatever your ethnicity is, okay, or whatever. You drink together, and the other guy says, your superior says, your mind is wonderful, is pure, is luminous. What do you think? It's an ambush. Yes, Orange.
Metaphor, Master. I make another try. That the mind is wonderful, means that it have no limit, and pure, so it doesn't have any. It doesn't have any false talk, and illuminates, so it's not. It's no longer clouded, or what you call that, do bad thing or something. So you can turn around and work on yourself if you still have those flaws. So
very good. Go back to Norway. Okay. So what the polite word is that, have one more drink. Okay? Yang Shan said, so can you call those only phenomena? And the master said, so it is, so it is. So what happened is that the master Wei Shan asked Yang Shan about the substance of the mind. According to our Bible, the Srangama Sutra of the Chan school, the substance of the mind is wonderful, is pure, is luminous. So what do you have to say? What do you think? And Yang Shan says, well, I think this is in Yang Shan's words, by the way, boy, okay? And you can memorize this and go back and talk to Daddy about this, okay? What do you think? I think it's the mountains, I think it's the rivers, and I think it's the earth, I think it's the sun, I think it's the moon, and the stars. Okay? What does it mean? These are phenomena. Yes? Phenomena meaning you see the sun, the moon, the stars. Okay? So how did he go from a substance of the mind to phenomena? That's why at first blush, the master feigned to ask, I asked you about substance. You're talking about phenomena. What is another word for phenomena? This is Srangama Sutra. This is Chan people. Okay? People, when you practice Chan, okay, I'm leading you there. We're bringing you there. I know it's so far away for you, but be patient. Don't give up. Okay? Especially those who fail the math tests. I'm so disappointed, They are all educated, have, university degrees, and they couldn't even figure out my simple math problem. Yes, Orange.
Phenomena is the reflection of your inside, your internal.
Very good. Have one more drink. Yes, Green.
I feel the mind sounds like the feeling, and I guess maybe when Yangshan talk about the phenomenon, it means the feeling you observe this phenomenon and the feeling of the mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you're getting close. She's Chinese, that's why I'm more gentle with her. Okay, so phenomena refers to the use of the mind. The mind that you being, the mind that you are. The Chan here will help you see the substance of your mind. That's called seeing your nature. So far, so good? This is your path. What we're doing may not seem like it, okay? For you, for all of you, is that, Master yell, Master cry, Master tells jokes. It doesn't make sense to me. All that will lead for you to see the substance of your mind, okay? So far, so good? You will see it. So we're planting your practice here. All the things everything you've been doing are planting the seeds for you to see that Buddha nature, that mind of yours, the Buddha mind of yours. Okay? How it's going to happen? None of your business. Okay? But that's what happens. It's called sudden teaching. We're paving the way for you to be able to see, that's my mind. That's the mind. So far, so good? You'll be able to see the substance of your mind. You see how excited Cheng Cheng is? And I signed up for this? Seriously? It's Cheng Cheng is so obvious. He said, really? At least pretend. Pretend you, wow. Like all these people who don't understand what I'm talking about. Wei Mountain.
Master.
Oh no, the same guy again.
Sorry, Master. Get a quick question. So, is it possible, let's say, a knife is like a mind. Is it possible to have the knife cut the knife itself?
That's too wacko. Go back to Hong Kong. Anyway, yes, yellow. Chu Hung has a question. Go ahead.
Master, my question is this substance of mind the Buddha nature? Are they the same?
Yes. So what happens is this. When you practice Chan, you meditate. We put you through all these exercises, drills, and then encourage you to quit, okay, and so forth, and abuse you and torture you, and and give you some food, and so forth, as in order for you to see how your mind reacts to it, okay, how you react to it. So that's why eventually you see, after all this history, all these patterns, that's how my mind is. That's called the substance of your mind. Eventually, you see, that's who I really am. So far, so good? It's okay, son. It's okay. Yeah. A few more years and you'll get it. Okay, so far, so good. So all the chanting enables you, is to lead you to see. Okay? what your mind really is like. Okay? So that's called the substance of your mind. See the nature, see the mind, and become a Buddha. Because that mind you see there is the Buddha's mind. So far, so good? That's a Chan school. See that mind of yours, you can recognize that mind of yours, that is exactly the mind of a Buddha. The substance of the mind of a Buddha. So far, so good. Is that clear? All of you are able to do that. Okay? And this is the purpose of all this Chan training here. Okay? All leads to that. Doesn't matter, Hinayana, Mahayana, whatever you want to call it, Wei Yang, Cao Dong, Rin Zai, Lin Ji, whatever you want to call it. It all leads you to that thing where you see what your mind is really like. That Buddha's mind of yours is really like. You see it, then you know who you really are. So far, so good. Okay? That's called, you see the substance of your mind. Okay? After you see that substance of your mind, then you receive further training. Then you see how to use that mind of yours. It's called use. So after you see the Buddha nature, your true mind, then you understand better how to use it. That's called, the mind has two sides, a substance and its use. So far, so good. So you understand the substance, what your mind is really like, and you learn how to use it more and more and more. Is that clear? So it's one side is substance. He asked Wei Shan, Master Wei Shan, great Master Wei Shan asked about the substance of the mind based on the Srangma Sutra. And Yakshan says, he's describing what? The use of the mind. Is that clear? So what this is about, he says, when you look at the mind, there are two sides of it. The substance of the mind as described in the Srangma Sutra, and the use of the mind as life itself. That's why life is wonderful. That's why life is pure. That's why life is luminous. So far, so good. Don't think that your Chan is something theoretical, something that is, so out of reach, so unreal. It is very useful. It will help you get a promotion. It will help you make money. It will help you build mountains. It will help you build tunnel through the mountains. It's not something that is, so far-fetched that it has nothing to do with life. No. When you see that wonderful true mind of yours, you'll be able to utilize it to accomplish great things, folks. Whether it's composing music, playing, a musical instrument, you figure out how to do it better than before. Make more money than before. Find more love than before, smarter than before, better grades than before. Everything will be better than before once you see it. As you improve, you also are improving the use of your mind. Is that clear? The mind, even if you're not enlightened, the mind, your substance is getting more refined, then your use of that mind of yours is also better. Can you see that? You don't have to wait until you become enlightened and you have all these wonderful mountains, rivers, and earth, and the moon, and the stars, and so forth. Even at below that, before you become enlightened, your mind is also much more refined than before. Therefore, you will be able to utilize the mind and do more than before. So what I'm trying to tell you is that Chan, you practicing Chan makes you a better contributing member of society. Because your mind is getting more refined, and along with that, you use it better. You put it to better use. Whatever you do, making money, teaching, conning people, you do a much better job. How else are you going to improve? The worldly people, their improvement is increasing the breadth. They know more. More dollars, more houses, more cars, more boyfriends. Okay? Whereas in Chan, we increase our nature, our substance, therefore we're able to increase the quality of our production. Am I making sense to you? It's very practical. It's not about, you look at this and the first reaction, oh, this is for enlightened people. This is very high level. Yes, I can explain it to you at a high level. Okay? But at a low level where you're not even there yet, nowhere near enlightenment yet, keep improving, you are more productive. More productive. So far, so good. You're happier. You see life becoming more fun, more wonderful, more pure, clearer. Your solutions are getting better and better and better. So far, so good. Okay? But at Yang Shan's level, oh my God, time is up. How do I always run out of time? Next time, I will stop BSing. We will jump right into something advanced like this, okay? And bring it to lower level to you. Why me? But anyway, so that's what happens. Wei Shan says, the substance of the mind is wonderful, is pure, is luminous. Yang Shan says, oh, of course, mountains, rivers, sun, moon, stars, wives, children, cars, red cars. You see that? And so the master then jokingly says, but you describe phenomena. I'm talking about substance. You describe phenomena. And so he says, you call that phenomena? And that's the next level. That's why Wei Shan says, so it is, so it is. I approve of you. You pass the math test. So far, so good. You see, even an anecdote like this can be explained at high level or low level, depending on it is. It's the same principle. Okay? And one corollary, if we cannot teach you about how wonderful your mind is, how pure your mind is, how brilliant, how bright your mind is, okay? Because you can't see it, right? Who can see that, by the way? Raise your hands. See, I rest my case. So what do? We cannot tell you what about your mind. Then, the implication is that we don't focus on the substance because you cannot see the substance. We focus on the use of your mind. Remember, you're this enlightened level, your mind is wonderful, is pure and luminous, therefore you are able to see the moons, the stars, and do those at that level. At low level, okay, since we cannot see those things, what do? We teach you about the use of the mind. Your mind can be used at a higher level to bring up. That's how Chan is taught. You understand, boys and girls? You cannot teach people about the substance. You can only teach them about the use. This is why, do this for me. Go cook. Go fix the temple. Go drive the truck and get rid of the garbage. Go lie to the inspector. Okay? All those are uses of your mind. Isn't it beautiful? Bosco sees it as a way to make money. I see it as a way to make you become enlightened. That's the difference. Am I making sense to you now? You can teach both sides. First, we teach you about the mind, substance of yours, but we bring you there by asking you to use your mind and demonstrate to you your mind can be better. No one is applauding. This is so brilliant. You're all fired. I'm so disappointed. I keep you, boy, that's it. The rest you can go. Yes, Green.
Thank you, Master. Yeah. Thank you, Master. I want to share something.
Yes.
I feel I used Chan to scare my husband. This Tuesday morning, during the Venerable Xianxin's our class, morning class, and I told her I try to control myself when I argue with my husband, and I will keep silence, not fight back. And Venerable Xianxin asked me, "So did your husband feel scared by your silence?" I said I didn't pay attention at that things, but yesterday when we drove to somewhere and I made a joke, but he took seriously and he got mad and say something make me feel hurt and sad. And I just keep the silence and recite mantra. And after 5 or 10 minutes, he hold my hand and say sorry. At that time, I knew he didn't get why I'm angry, but I think it's okay. I feel maybe he's scared by my silence. So it's useful. Thank you, Master.
Use it to terrorize your spouse. I see. That's the whole point. I hope you got that. Okay? Yeah. You understand now how we change training Chan by the use side. The substance side, eventually, by using use side, you will increase, you see your substance clearer and clearer. Okay? That's how Chan is taught. Now you understand why in Chan we keep on talking about the mind has a substance side and a function side. That's what it's about. By the way, Master YongHua never explained to his disciples. I asked them about this before. I asked you, what is substance, what is your use? No one could understand it, could explain it. That's why, unless you understand it, you cannot teach Chan. And that's, you see how advanced Yang Shan was. He says, I see a use. I see how to explain it to our disciples. That's why it was called Wei Yang. Wei has a substance, Yang has a function. And beautiful, we're very blessed. We have two great teachers. in our lineage. Only in a Wei-Yang lineage you have a person who says, the substance I'm holding in you is this substance here, and he can bring you very, very high up. Okay? But Yang Shan says, I have better ways to bring people up there. And that's why Wei Shan said, yeah, that's my disciple. Okay, we stop here today. Thank you all. I hope you become enlightened. If you're not, okay, keep at it. Don't quit. See you next time. Wow, that boy is so interested. It's not healthy.